So in the previous classes, we were discussing that hearing that his co-wife, her co-wife, Suruchi, insulted her son who was trying to climb on the lap of his father, Uttanapada. Sunuti says that, my dear son, do not find fault with your stepmother. In fact, whatever she says is very right. Your father does not like me. And your father does not even consider me as a maid servant. Then what to speak of your wife? So whatever we are going through is due to our past karmas. Do not find fault with your stepmother. But what she said is actually right. You need to worship Lord Vishnu. It is by worshipping Lord Vishnu, your great grandfather Lord Brahma became Lord Brahma. Your grandfather became Manu, Swayambhu Manu, and you can become like them or even more than them by worshipping Lord Vishnu. So hearing those words from his mother, Dhruva went to forest in order to worship Lord Vishnu. On the way, Narada Muni comes and tries to test his determination. How much is determined to worship Lord Vishnu, saying that you are a small boy, you are supposed to be interested in playing, you are not supposed to be disturbed by so much praise and all these things. Then Dhruva says that no, my dear sir, don't say all these things. I'm not interested in all these things. I came here to, I know what is right, what is wrong. Don't tell me all these things. Then Narada Muni kind of says that if you think you know what is right, what is wrong, then this is not the right time for performing austerities. You should treat both praise and criticism equally. After spending sufficient amount of time as a king, then after renouncing everything, you should come to forest and perform austerities. Why are you coming immaturely now? You are not fit to perform all these austerities. Then Dhruva says that I am actually Kshatriya. Your words of peacefulness may be appreciated by a Brahmana, but not by a Kshatriya. My current status is like a pot filled with water is broken by a arrow. So water cannot stay because there were some cracks. The water will leak away. Same way, my heart has been pierced by the arrow-like words of my stepmother, Suruchi. So whatever words of peacefulness you might speak, they cannot stay in my heart. If at all you want to say something, please tell me what is the bona fide path or bona fide process, following which I can attain a position which is superior to the ruler of the three planetary systems, Lord Brahma. Padam Tribhuva Notkrushtam Jigushe Sadhu Vartmame. Please teach me a Sadhu Vartma, a bona fide auspicious path, following which I can get a position which is superior to that of Lord Brahma, who is the ruler of the entire universe. So understanding the determination of Dhruva, then Narada Muni speaks about where he should go, what he should do, how he should do, etc. etc. Having gone to Madhuvan, after taking bath in Yamuna, he should make a nice suitable place to sit in Sukhasan, that means Padmasan, then start performing Ashtanga Yoga while meditating on the Supreme Lord, who is there in the core of the heart of every living entity as Paramatma. So what will be the form of Paramatma? That was very nicely presented in the previous few verses. So many verses talks about the wonderful description of the Paramatma, the form of the Lord who is there in the heart. Tarunam Ramaniyangam Arunostekshanaadaram Pranatashrenam Nundam Sharanyam Karunarnavam Srivastankam Gadashyamam Purusham Vanamalinam Shankachakra Gada Padmer Abhivyakta Charanambujam Kiritinam Kundalanam Keyura Valayanvitam Kaustuba Barana Girivam Pita Kausheya Vasasam Kanchi Kapala Paryastam Lasat Kanchana Nupuram Darshaniyatamam Shantam Mano Nayana Vardhanam. The form is so wonderful, so wonderful. It is Darshaniyatamam. It is the form that is supposed to be seen. Because by seeing that form, Mano Nayana Vardhanam, the bliss of the eyes and the bliss of the mind continuously increases more and more, more and more. So like that, he gives a wonderful, beautiful description of the form of the Paramatma, form of the Supreme Lord, who is there in the core of the heart as Paramatma. Then he says that, for finally, he kind of concludes what kind of form will appear for a yogi when he meditates. Smayamanam abhidyayet sanu ragavalokanam niyate naika bhutena manasa varadarshapam. So one should, with complete attachment, one should meditate on this with great attention, with complete attachment, one should meditate on this smiling face of the Lord, who has an affectionate glance towards devotees. Because this Supreme Lord is always eager to offer benedictions to his wonderful devotees. Varadarshapam, Varada Rishabam, the best among the givers of benedictions. Evam Bhagavato Rupam Subhadram Dhyayato Manaha. Nirvritya Paraya Turnam Sampannam Na Nivartate. Then he says that Evam Bhagavato Rupam Subhadram Dhyayato Mana. The devotee with their mind should meditate on this form, the most auspicious form of the Supreme Lord. Subhadram Rupam. By doing that, Nirvritya Paraya Turnam Sampannam Na Nivartate. Very soon one becomes filled with highest bliss, the Paraya. So one becomes indifferent to the material world, Nivritya, and one becomes completely dedicated to Paraya. One becomes completely absorbed in Paraya and experiences the bliss of the Paraya. So, and then one never leaves that form. Na nivartate. Yadgatva na nivartante taddama paramamma. Just like one who goes to spiritual will never come back. Similarly, when one accomplishes the meditation on the form of the Paramatma, one will never give that meditation. Never leave or never give up that meditation. That will be the result of final meditation. So like that, Narada Muni speaks the wonderful description of the form of Paramatma, who is there in the heart of the every living entity. So that is where we stopped, and we will continue today from verse number 53 onwards. So before continuing with 53, is there any question from the previous class discussion based on your studies?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, much.
Yes, Prabhuji. I'll just tell you the verse number. Prabhuji, it's from the 35th verse purport. Srila Prabhupada mentions that desire must exist, either material or spiritual. Material desire arises when one wants to satisfy one's personal senses, and one who is ready to sacrifice anything to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead can be said to have spiritual desire. I'm confused regarding, like, suppose we have so many desires in the spiritual field that maybe I want to go to such and such parikrama, or I want to go to such and such place for darshan, or I want to read such and such scripture in detail and properly. Like, so many such desires we have, where the root of the desire, I feel, yes, by doing that service, we do give some pleasure to the Lord, but at the same time there is some kind of a unsaid pleasure we are also taking from that activity, means of the reading scripture, or taking darshan, or going to the dham, whatever. So such kind of desires, how we categorize them, Prabhuji? It is spiritual or material?
Even that also you are telling them material. At least something better than nothing. Otherwise, outside people are filled with so many other desires. It's okay. At our stage, having desire to go to Dham and doing all these things, no issues. But we need to understand what bhakti is all about. It is not practical, may not be practical today for us, but that is the bhakti means As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Yat karoshi yadashnashi, yajjuoshi tadashiyat, yat tapashyasi kaunteya, tat kurushva madarpanam. So whatever you may perform, starting with eating, drinking, going to holy places, performing some austerities, charities, reading scriptures, or anything, any activity or any such kind of activity, everything should be done as an offering to Supreme Lord. Then that is called bhakti. If we are doing the spiritual activities also for our own pleasure, then it will be a long way to come out of that mentality. So there is a small thin line. We are doing the same activity only, but doing that activity as an offering to Supreme Lord or doing an activity as an enjoyment for ourselves. That thin line difference will be there, that we need to slowly understand and slowly come out.
Yeah, because in case of chanting also it is said, na Prabhuji, like we should chant for the pleasure of the Lord and not try to derive peace of mind and pleasure for our own self. So that that will be better. So, okay, so all the time when we desire such have spiritual looking desires also, we should consciously see to it that we are doing that for the pleasure of the Lord and not try to derive pleasure for our own self. Then it will be more of a spiritual kind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other devotee? Any question? Okay. So, having described what Ashtanga Yoga is all about, how to do it, and then having described the beautiful form of Paramatma upon which one need to meditate, then Narada Muni is going to talk about other important activities, what Dhruva is supposed to do. He talks about the mantra, he talks about the deity worship, he talks about offering different articles along with Bhoga to the deity. So all the other things are mentioned in the remaining verses, all the way up to 62. Japascha
Hare,
paramo. Hare Krishna.
sorry to disturb you, Prabhuji. I'm really sorry. But there was one point from the 47th verse. If you will allow, I will tell now, or if you say, I will at the end of the class, maybe.
No, no, tell what is that?
Prabhuji, 47th purport, it mentions that he is always a male, like it is said regarding the Lord, and therefore the personalist who imagines the Lord's form as that of a woman is mistaken. The Lord appears in female form if necessary. So, where the impersonalists, they don't consider the form of the Lord, Prabhuji. So, where it comes that they imagine the Lord's form as a female. Means I have not come across. So,
Um, I don't know, but maybe something like that. They might be giving high importance to Devi than Vishnu. So we see in South India, they worship Devi a lot, considering Devi to be the utmost authority. The Shakti, Devi in the sense, in one sense, they call her Shakti.
There's something called Devi Bhagavatam, no, Prabhuji?
That is there.
Yeah,
Shankaracharya
yeah.
followers only purport in
Yeah.
the
They consider the energy to be the higher than the person,
the person.
Vishnu. Yeah.
So in
so
that.
they impersonalists consider the energy of the Lord in a personified form, but they don't consider the Lord whose energy, from whom the energy comes, to be impersonal. Is it like that?
See, actually, ultimately, from the transcendental point of view, the highest absolute truth is Brahman. For them, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. But in the material reality, that Brahman manifests in the form of Devi. And they say rest all the manifestation of Devi. Because Devi, consisting of three modes, manifests in the form of the material world. The mode of ignorance manifests in the material world. The mode of passion manifests in the form of all the living entities all the way up to Brahma. And the mode of goodness manifests in the form of Vishnu or Vishnu's various avatars that appear in the material world. They say everything else is an expansion of the three modes only. The three modes put together represent the Shakti. So that Shakti is what in the material manifestation is Devi. It's like
Okay.
that. Mhm. South India, many of the Shankara followers, and there are many more sects in the Shankara followers also. So some say Devi is the highest, some say Shiva is the highest, some say Brahman is the impersonal, Brahmajyoti is the highest. Like different understandings are there at different levels.
Okay.
Mhm. Verse number 53. Japascha paramo guhya shruyatam me nripatmaja yam sapta ratrim praptam puman pashyati kecharan.
O son of the king, now I shall speak unto you the mantra which is to be chanted with this process of meditation. One who carefully chants this mantra for 7 nights can see the perfect human beings flying in the sky.
Yeah. Here now he is going to talk about the mantra. He is going to initiate Dhruva in a mantra. Because without mantra initiation, one cannot perform meditation in that sense. Nrupatmaja, O son of the king, O prince, hear from me. The highest secret mantra, Japascha Paramo Guhya, Rajavidya Rajaguhya. That means Rajavidya Rajaguhya. So this knowledge is the secret among all the knowledges. It is like king among all the knowledges. Among all the citizens, king is the best. The same way, here is telling that among all the mantras, the mantra which I am going to give you is Guhya mantra. It is not only Guhya mantra, it is Parama Guhya mantra, and which is supposed to be chanted. It is for Japa. Japascha Paramo Guhya. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Yajnanam Japa Yajñosmi. Among all the yajnas, I am Japa Yajna. Among all the different types of japas, this is Param Japa. Parama Guhya Japa. So something like that we can take. By chanting which, a person can see the associates of the Lord traveling in the sky in 7 days. By chanting this mantra, in 7 days, the chanter will see the Vaikuntha Vasis. The chanters will see the abode Vaikuntha. The chanters will see the Lord of Vaikuntha. Narada Muni is saying here, the same Narada Muni, whichever mantra is going to give to Dhruva Maharaj now, later on he gives the same mantra to Chitraketu Maharaj. In 7 days, Chitraketu Maharaj, by chanting that mantra, had the darshan of Lord Sankarshan. In 7 days, he becomes actually king of Vidyadharas. Then within 7 days, he becomes, first 7 days, he saw the darshan of the Supreme Lord. In next 7 days, he becomes the king of Vidyadharas. Then he goes to Vidyadhar Loka and remains there as Vidyadhara for a long time. So that is the potency of this mantra. That mantra is given by Narada Muni to Dhruva here, Narada Muni to Chitraketu Maharaj there. And this mantra is again told in the first canto, I think in the 6th chapter. After describing what Vyasadeva is supposed to do, Narada Muni says that in my previous life, when the Bhakti Vedantas are about to leave, they instructed me in that mantra and then departed. Chanting that mantra, Narada Muni also saw the Paramatma in the heart. Supreme Lord appeared within the core of the heart of that small boy in that section. So this is the same mantra. If you read through the verses, there also, here also, in the 6th canto also, all 3 places the same mantra. So in that way, that is the glory of this mantra.
Does it mean that if somebody does not see the associates of the Lord, he is not chanted properly? Test the efficiency of the mantra.
Narada Muni is giving the mantra and saying that if you chant it properly, you will see the Vaikuntha Vasis or Vaikuntha or Lord Vaikuntha only in 7 days. So if one is not seeing, matlab, not done. So, select it. Hear the mantra. I'll put it in your right ear. I'll teach you. I'll initiate you. Even if you utter it audibly. Prapatan. Patan means to study slowly. Prapatan means to study loudly. It has effect. Then what to speak of? Audibly. Upamshu. If you chant this mantra loudly, still it will give effect. Then what to speak of? Chanting it only to the extent you can hear. Or if you chant it within your mind, then what greater effect will have? Which will have even greater effect. Kechara means associates of the Lord. So here you see one point is there. Generally the Vedic mantras are supposed to be chanted within one's mind to have greater effect, greatest effect. So to have greater effect, one can chant like murmuring way, but less amount of effect will come when they chant loudly. This is like Vedic understanding, and this is one of the reasons that during Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time, many Brahmanas used to tell that why you people are loudly chanting, why you people are crying, shouting this, that. Mantra should be chanted silently. You cannot chant loudly like this, etc., etc. Just the way we were also, some of our devotees, some brahmacharis, a congregation are initiated in Brahman initiation for the service of deity worship. So we have given Gayathri Mantra. So Gayathri Mantra is supposed to be chanted within the mind. We should not speak outside. We are not supposed to pronounce outside. Even within the audible of ours, then what to speak of loudly chanting. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for the benefit of everyone, he introduced congregational chanting. Just like Ramanujacharya, in Tirukostiyur, Goshti Purna did not give that mantra to Ramanujacharya, even though he persuaded him for 17 times. On the 18th time, telling what to do, what not to do, giving do's and don'ts, etc., etc. He told that never ever give this mantra to anybody who is not thoroughly qualified. This mantra should not be given just like that. And this mantra should not be chanted outside of your mind. No one should hear while you chant this mantra. Like mantra is kept very sacred way and very secretly. But Ramanujacharya, on the way, looking at the pitiable condition of the residents of the Tirukostiyur, he invited everyone to the temple, and climbing onto the top of the temple next day, he shouted that mantra loudly to the hearing of the entire village residents who all assembled around the temple. When they all heard that mantra, they repeated that mantra. As soon as they repeated that mantra, all of the residents of the Tirukostiyur completely purified of their contaminations, and all of them experienced immediately the Vaikuntha atmosphere. So that is the potency of mantra. Later on, when Tirukostiyur and Goshipurna understood that okay, Ramanujacharya shouted this mantra loudly and spoke to everyone, he became very angry and kind of chastised Ramanujacharya left and right. I told you not to reveal this mantra to unqualified people. You gave it to everyone. You will go to hell, etc., etc., like that, for this offense of towards mantra. That time Ramanujacharya told that no problem, I am ready to go to hell for life after life. But if all the people of this world are delivered, if they go to Vaikuntha, I don't have any issue to go to Naraka. So this is the compassion of the Acharyas, we can see. Traditionally, mantra is supposed to be chanted alone. But because of the Acharya's compassion, it is like that. When Haridas Thakur was asked by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, how the conditioned souls of this world will be delivered by chanting Harinam, then what to speak of then what about the inanimate and animate animals and the plants, etc. Then by chanting loudly, when they get to hear, they will be delivered. So by murmuring the mantra for oneself, one is delivered, but by loudly chanting, one is delivered as well as others are also delivered. So this is the greatness of the Acharyas, like Ramanujacharya and others, and the greatness of the Supreme Lord like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Though traditionally mantras are not pronounced outwardly, but sometimes Acharyas and the Supreme Lord comes in the form of Acharyas, creates revolution for the benefit of one and all. So in that way. That is one point. When I was reading through this point came very interesting.
So the Brahmanas are allowed to recite the mantras. Those who are initiated.
Not Brahmanas. The three caste people. Generally, we will discuss this in the next words, but this is you asked. The traditional Vedic mantras are supposed to be chanted by the twice born, the Brahmana, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas, who go through different samskaras, who go through Upanana samskara, then they go to Gurukul to study under a spiritual master. So they are qualified to learn and recite the Vedic mantras. Others who do not go through samskaras are not qualified to recite the Vedic mantras. But when it comes to bhakti, for bhakti everyone is qualified. There are no barriers for practicing bhakti. Bhakti means Shravanam, Kirtanam, and Smaranam. So what kind of Shravanam one should do? What kind of Kirtanam, what kind of Smaranam one should do? One can do the Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, anything about the Supreme Lord. Lord's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela. So in that condition, in that case, there are no conditions, no restrictions. Anyone and everyone can hear about Lord's name, Lord's form, Lord's qualities, and Lord's activities. Anyone can chant Lord's name, qualities, activities, and form. Anyone can meditate upon Nama, Rupa, Guna, the Supreme Lord. Further, there is no restriction. But when it comes to Vedas and Vedic mantras, there is a restriction. There is a lot of restriction.
Based on the purity of the consciousness of the person.
No, that is the rule is like that. The rule is like that. The Vedas means it cannot be taught to anyone and everyone. Only twice born are supposed to be taught. So the rule is like that. Even Prabhupada writes in the purport last 3-4 lines. One should not artificially try to see the form of the Lord while chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. But when the chanting is performed offenselessly, the Lord will automatically reveal himself to the view of the chanter. The chanter therefore has to concentrate on hearing the vibration, and without extra endeavor on his part, the Lord will automatically appear. So it's like that. Yesterday we were discussing second canto for our brahmacharis, Bhakti Vaibhav. Tapasvino, Danapara Yashasvino, Manasvino, Mantra Vidasu Mangala, Kshemam na Vindanti Vinay Darpanam, Tasmai Subhadra Shravase Namonama. Even somebody is a karmi, jnani, yogi, or any other follower of the Vedic culture, in order to attain the perfection, they need to offer all the activities unto Supreme Lord. Vina Takshemam na Vindanti Vinaya Darpanam. Without offering them to Supreme Lord, they will not attain the expected results. But on the contrary, of course, in order to practice all these things, jnana, nishkama karma, jnana, yoga, all these things, one need to be well educated in the Vedic culture or in the Vedas, the teachings of the Vedas. Ordinary people cannot practice these wonderful activities. Tapasya, Vairagya, one cannot cultivate, and Vedic study, practice of jnana, practice of Ashtanga yoga, practice of Nishkama Karma yoga. Ordinary people cannot practice. One need to be thoroughly educated, thoroughly be inclined to practice very sincerely in the mode of goodness situated. They only can practice. But on the contrary, bhakti can be practiced by anybody. Any ordinary person who is an outcast, who is not at all qualified in order to do all these wonderful activities, Nishkama Karma, Jnana, Yoga, but they can practice bhakti. That is the glory of bhakti. Kirata Hunandra Pulinda Pulkasha Abhira Shumba Yavana Kashadaya. Ye Anya Chapapa Yadapashraya Ashraya. But the only one qualification to practice bhakti is Yad Apashraya Ashraya. They need to take shelter of someone who had firmly taken shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then they will receive the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Shuddhanti Tasmai Prabha Vishnave Nama. Even the person may be very, very, very degraded state, but by firmly taking shelter of a pure devotee, by receiving the mercy of the devotee and the mercy of the Supreme Lord, they will become purified immediately. Their prarabdha and aprarabdha, everything can be purified instantly. And then they will be qualified to go back to Godhead. That is the glory of Bhakti. Bhakti does not have any barriers. So, other than Bhakti, any other sadhana needs so many prerequisites. So, it's like that. So now the next verse talks about the mantra. What is that mantra revealed by Narada Muni? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Mantre Nanena Devasya Kurya Dravya Mayimbuda Saparyam Vividair Dravir Teshakala Vibhagavet.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This is the 12-syllable mantra for worshipping Lord Krishna. One should install the physical form of the Lord, and with the chanting of the mantra, one should offer flowers and fruits and other varieties of foodstuffs exactly according to the rules and regulations prescribed by authorities. But this should be done in consideration of place, time, and attendant conveniences and inconveniences.
So here the mantra is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Even the mantra which was given by the Bhakti Vedantas to the small boy who would become Narada Muni eventually was also Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Sankarshanaya Pradyumnaya Anuruddhaya. That mantra contained the 4 names of the quadruple Chaturvyuha. And the mantra given by Narada Muni unto Chitraketu Maharaj also contained the 4 names. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Sankarshanaya Cha Pradyumnaya Anuruddhaya Cha. It's like that. So all the 4 names were there in that mantra. So in all the cases. But here Narada Muni is revealing this mantra or initiating Dhruva Maharaj by chanting this mantra on his right ear. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Just like Ramanacharya received Om Namo Narayana mantra and revealed it to everyone. At one go, he initiated the entire village residents. Verse number 54. So like that. This is the greatest mantra. According to Narada Muni, Japascha Paramam Guhyam. Among all the japas, this is Parama Japa. Among all the japas, this is Guhya Japa. The most secret, confidential mantra. But after receiving mantra, while chanting this mantra, what the chanter is supposed to do? That is being indicated. The learned person who knows what is the proper time and what is the proper place, some sadhana, should perform external worship using the mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya and various articles of worship. So the process of performing sadhana or bhakti during Satya Yuga, as we study in 12th canto Bhagavatam, the 4 yugas have 4 ways of performing sadhana. What are the 4 ways?
Tapasya.
What tapasya?
And yajna, sacrifice, temple worship, and
Sanskrit shloka.
मुझे संस्कृत हिंदी नहीं आता संस्कृत
आएगा क्यों नहीं आएगा?
अरे we are all in the convent school English medium. मुश्किल से हिंदी second subject था प्रभु जी.
No. Anyone remember that mantra? Krute yad dhyayato Vishnu. Krute yad, in Kruta Yuga, one need to meditate upon Lord Vishnu. Tretayam yajato makai.
Tayam Yajata Makai.
One need to
Dwapare.
worship Lord Vishnu through the performance of Yajna in Treta Yuga. And then
Dwapare.
Paricharyaya.
Paricharyaya.
During Dwapara Yuga, it is by deity worship. Kalautat
Hari Kirtana.
Kali Yuga, Hare Kirtana. So it doesn't mean that okay, Satya Yuga means only Dhyanam, Treta Yuga is only Yajnas, Dwapara Yuga only Archana, and Kali Yuga only Nama Sankirtan. Not like that. All the four need to be performed. Here we'll see in the case of Dhruva Maharaj is doing all the four. But out of the four, one is given more prominence. While performing all the four, one need to be performed by giving more prominence, or one need to be performed for the maximum amount of time, and the remaining three should be kind of corollaries, accompaniments. So like that. So in case of Dhruva Maharaj, we see he is doing all the four, but majorly Dhyanam. Krite Tretayam Paricharya Dwaparo Paricharyayam. Krute Dhyayato Vishnu. Dhyanam. So in that way. So while doing dhyana, one should chant this mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. As well as one should also worship the deity by various articles. So what are the different articles should be used in the worship of deity will be mentioned in the next verses. So what are included? Dhyanam is there, Harinam Sankirtan is there, chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and worshipping the deity through various articles is there, and Yajna. So since Dhruva Maharaj is a small boy, so he may not be able to perform Yajna. But the principle of Yajna is offering. Whatever we have, it should be offered in the service of the Supreme Lord. That is also Yajna. As Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse number 8. Anyone remember?
Yagyartha karmano pralokoyam.
Yajnartat karmano anlokoyam karma bandhana. Karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. So for the sake of Yajna, all the karma should be performed. So in the translation, Prabhupada writes in the purport also Prabhupada explains that Yajna means Lord Vishnu or Indra. For the sake of Indra, for the sake of Vishnu, one should be performing all the activities. Okay, ultimately we are offering to Lord Vishnu and chanting the name of Indra with also considered to be the worshipper by the performance of Yajna. But if you take technically also, traditionally according to Varnashrama system, the Brahmana, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas are supposed to perform Yajna on daily basis. If not daily basis, or weekly or on occasional basis, Yajna should be going on. Especially Brahmanas are expected to perform Yajna every day. Such kind of Brahmanas are called Agnihotri Brahmanas. Yajna is the integral part of their daily rituals. There is no excuse for that. But others, Kshatriyas also it is there. It is part of their daily routine. Early morning they have to perform small Yajna. In the Agnihotri Brahmana, the Yajna should be going on throughout the day. But for Kshatriyas and for Vaishya, they should perform Yajna early in the morning hours. So in that sense, the Yajna should go on every day. And rest of the day, whatever activity that is performed, all should be keeping Yajna in the center. Like for all our ISKCON devotees, or Krishna conscious devotees, or in that matter, all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, all our activities are centered around chanting Hare Krishna Mantra. Anything can go here and there, but chanting should go on. 16 rounds, chanting on the beat should go on. There is no excuse for that. One day we may do deity worship or not. Chanting should go on. So whether we do other things or not, as it is, but chanting should go on. So all our activities are centered around chanting. So like that, the traditional Varnashram system, all their activities should be centered around Yajna. That is there. So this is like traditional system. Same way, here Dhruva Maharaj is instructed to perform all the four activities, but Yajna he may not perform since he is a small child. For the traditional Varna system, Yajna performance can be accomplished only by a person who is married. Only a married person can perform Yajna. So Dhruva is a small child, he can be given excuse from that. So he is performing other three. He will perform, that we are going to discuss in the future. all the three. So it is like that.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, one question.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, in this mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, the Lord is, Om is the first word. In many of the sacrifices, all the yajnas which we see, Om is the first word which is being mentioned, right? Why do they first say the impersonal form? Because in Bhagavad Gita it says Om is the impersonal form of the Lord. So why do they say that impersonal form first?
No, don't see it as impersonal form. The impersonalists use Om because it is the Bija mantra. Om is Bija mantra. As far as I remember, recently one of my friend was discussing. He said that he heard one of my Bhagavatam class and he was discussing about it elaborately. During lockdown, I spoke on 11th canto on one verse, the tree of Vedas. The sound exists in the 4 stages.
Yes.
Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama and Vaikari.
Vaikari, yeah.
Vaikari is that sound we generally hear in our audible sense. Other 3 are subtle and which they are there within the, one is in the intelligence level, one in the mind level, other one is at the soul level.
Even Bhanu Maharaj spoke on that, na?
Recently Bhanu Maharaj also kind of elaborated. Last week. You remember. So, how is that Para sound is manifested first time in the heart of Brahma? So, Tene Brahma Hrudaya Adi Kavaye. So, 11th canto it says that it is manifested in the form of Nada. In traditional South Indian temples, we have this Nada Swara.
Yeah.
Morning to evening, they keep chanting, they keep playing that.
Nada Swaram.
Nada Swara.
Yeah.
That Nada comes from that only. Okay. The original sound that has manifested from the heart of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is called Nada. That is Para sound, the transcendental sound. That sound entered into the heart of Brahma. That Nada is compared to the seed.
Okay.
When we sow the seed, in due course of time, there comes a small sprout. That sprout is Om.
Oh, okay.
So Om is Bija mantra. And that small sprout only eventually transforms into a big tree. Without sprout, the seed can be there, like in there only.
Yeah.
Unless until you sow the seed, unless until the sprout comes out, the seed does not transform into a plant or a gigantic tree. That sprout is Om, the seed is Nada. Nada is always there.
Okay.
But the Nada to transform into a plant, there should be a proper field. That field was the heart of Brahma.
Okay.
And then Brahma manifested everything that is mentioned in the 12th chapter of the 3rd canto. From Brahma came 4 Vedas. From Brahma came 4 Upavedas, 6 Vedangas, Puranas, Upanishads, Itihasas, and alphabets, consonants, Vedic meters, and then Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha, and then Sarigama Padani. So many things came. They're all like different branches, sub-branches, twigs, leaves, flowers, fruits, like that. So whatever music we are enjoying now is like the fruit or a flower. The wonderful words, wonderful narration, wonderful songs, these are all the wonderful poetry. They are all like the fruits and flowers of the Vedic tree. So in that way.
So when the impersonalists say Om, that doesn't mean this Bija mantra, or it means that only.
No. It is Bija mantra. See, in one sense, Om is the revealer of what is what. Om reveals the transcendence. What is the ultimate end of transcendence?
Supreme Lord, Bhagavan.
Okay. For us it is Bhagavan.
For
the Jnanis and Yogis it is Brahman.
Okay.
So devotees will see Om as Bhagavan. The traditional yoga practitioners, the yoga ladder practitioners, the Veda readers and Veda followers, for them Om is Brahman.
Okay.
So that is the way.
Okay. So it is the intention, again it matters. With what intention you're chanting the Om. Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Because since childhood they were taught Om means Brahman, Om means Brahman. So they do like that only. And since the childhood of our Krishna consciousness in ISKCON, we are all taught Om means Krishna.
Yeah.
So for us Om is Krishna. For them Om is Brahman. That's all.
Okay. Thank you.
Any Vedic mantra begins with this Bija mantra Om. Any Vedic verse generally begins with Om. So it is like that. It is understood from this that teaching Vaishnava mantra with Om to persons without Upanayana is also allowed. Generally in the Vedic culture, according to the regular Varnashram system, without Upanayana ceremony, the initiation cannot be done. Upanayana ceremony is performed, then the initiation is given, then they will go to study the Vedas. But here Narada Muni is giving initiation to Dhruva, who is like 5 years old. He has not gone through any Upanayana ceremony and such kind of things. That means Vaishnava mantra can be given to anyone and everyone. So as I mentioned, like Kirata, Hunandra, Pulinda, Pulkasha, all these people also can be given Vaishnava mantra without any prior qualification. But Vedic mantra cannot be given to anyone and everyone. Only for the twice born. The twice born means Upanayana. First one is the first birth. Second birth is Upanayana. So without Upanayana, Vedic mantras cannot be given to any people in general. So, but when it comes to Bhakti, there are no barriers for Bhakti. Anyone and everyone can be given Bhakti. So this is unimaginable compassion of Bhakti. Bhakti is easily available for anyone and everyone. Unlike Nishkama Karma, Jnana, not to speak of Nishkama Karma, even Sakama Karma also cannot be practiced by ordinary people. For that also there are so many rules and regulations. So Sakama Karma, Nishkama Karma, Jnana, Ashtanga Yoga, primarily practiced by the Dvijas, twice born people only. But it is only Bhakti can be practiced by anyone and everyone without any barriers. All the way up to animals also, which Lord Brahma says in the second canto, 6th chapter, I think. Tevai vidanti atitaranti cha devamayam, Sri Shrudra Huna Sabara Apipapa Jiva. No, that is second chapter. Tevai vidanti atitaranti cha devamayam, Sri Shrudra Huna Sabara Apipapa Jiva. Apiyadbhuta Krama Parayana Shila Shiksha. Tiriyak Jano Kimuta Shraddhadaranaye. Tiriyak Jano. Even animals, if they take shelter of a pure devotee, can be delivered easily. Then what to speak of Shraddhadharanas? What to speak of the human beings who can hear, who can understand, who can follow? They are obviously attain perfection. That is the glory of Bhakti. Bhakti can award perfection even to the Tiriyak Jana, animals. So Bhakti has no barriers, no restrictions. It is for everyone, all inclusive. But other processes, starting with Sakama Karma, it is highly restricted, not for everyone. So in that way, we can understand the compassionate nature of Bhakti.
So this is a Vedic mantra or this is a Bhakti mantra? No.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, completely Bhakti mantra. But when it is Om, generally people consider it Vedic mantra. But Om is only one word and Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, 11 letters are there. So it is Vaishnava mantra. It is Vaishnava mantra. Non-Vaishnava don't chant. This supersedes the rule of giving such mantras only to those who have Upanayana, who are twice born. So it's like that.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Any
Yes.
particular reason why the right here Narad Muni gave it to this thing? Any significance of that? Because even in the Upanayana, Gayathri Mantra is given only in the right ear.
Yeah, why right ear? Why not left ear? We will discuss about it in allegorical story of Puranjana. There it comes.
Okay.
When the description is there, it comes. As far as I remember vaguely, the mantras which are chanted in the left ear are karma mantras, Pitru Devata mantras. They are actually Sakama mantras. The mantras which are chanted in the right ear are intended for moksha.
Okay.
So those people who are interested in Dharmartha Kama, the mantras are chanted in the left ear. Those people are interested in moksha. And for devotees prema, the mantra is chanted in the right ear.
But the Vedic process is basically for Sakama Karma Yogis, gradual elevation for those people, isn't it? So they are in that level, isn't it? So why not left? Why right?
No, not like that. See, superficially, the Vedic teachings may appear to be Sakama Karma, but their actual intention is Nishkama Karma only. Since Nishkama karma cannot be practiced by everyone, and the majority is Sakama karma practitioners, so we assume that okay, Vedas means Sakama karma, not like that. The intention of the Vedas is Nishkama karma. The super duper intention of the Vedas is Bhakti.
Yeah.
Vedesha sarve.
Ahameva Vedyo.
Why? Vedanta krut. Still why? Vedavid
Vedavid aham chaham.
eva chaham. Because I only know the essence of the Vedas. That's why I only wrote. That's why I'm saying I am supposed to be understood by reading the Vedas. Otherwise, different people might come up with different conclusions. Yam imam pushpitam vacham prabodhanti avipandita. Vedavada rata partha na anyat astiti iti vadina. The Vedavada Rathas who superficially understand the meaning of the Vedas, they say that there is nothing more than Sakam Karma in the Vedas. The teachings of the Vedas is Bhogeshwarya Prasaktanam
Taya Pratashetasam Vyavasayatmaka Bhakti Vikehkurana.
Samadhavna Vidiyate. There is something, no, that is different verse. Bhogeshwarya Prasaktanam
Taya Pratashetasam
Kriya Vishesha Bahulam.
Mohula, yeah. Bhogeshwarya Prasaktanam Taya Pratashetasam.
So that is a different verse. There is a connecting verse to this 41st verse. So it says basically the teachings of the Vedas will only say that, and Bhoga Aishwarya, purpose of performing all the activities in one's life is to attain either Bhoga and Aishwarya, either in this life or in the next life. So taking them into primary consideration, they go through intense endeavor. Kriya Vishesha Bahulam, they perform various activities in order to get more Bhoga, more Aishwarya.
Kamatmana Swargapara.
So Kamatmana Swargapara, their life's aim is only going to Swarga only. Because that is what they have heard from Vedas. They say that Vedas are only telling that you need to perform all the rituals to go to Swarga. For what? Bhoga Aishwarya. So the superficial readers understand this much only. But sincere readers will understand that purpose of following the Vedas, purpose of reading the Vedas is to understand the process of attaining moksha. That is Nishkama Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga. But the more intense readers will understand
Bhakti.
The main teaching of Vedas is Bhakti. That is Raj. That's why it is said Raja Vidya Rajaguyam. It is very, 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 very confidentially present in the Vedas. Ordinary people cannot understand it. So it's like.
The literal translation Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya is after my obeisances to Vasudeva.
Yes.
Simple.
Simple one. But who is Vasudeva? Nahi. Vasudeva is Aham Sarvasya Prabho Mattam Sarvam Pravartate. He is Vasudeva.
Simply by offering obeisances to him is peace.
What is another verse? Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate. Vasudevam Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. Vasudevam Sarvamiti. Everything is he. It is not just ordinary name. Everything is he. What everything? Aham Sarvasya Prabho Mattam Sarvam Pravartate. It gradually goes in. Externally seems to be kuch nahi. So it's not like that. One simple name has unlimited information behind that. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So different people have different understandings. Hare means Lord Hare, Krishna means Krishna, Rama means Rama. Some say Hare means energy of the Lord. Krishna and Rama are the Lord's names. Some say Hare means Radharani. Krishna is Krishna, Rama means Radhika Raman. Some say Krishna is Krishna, Rama means Balram. Different understandings different people have. So it's like that. Name seems to be very simple, but the indication of that name is unlimited.
When you chant it without knowing, then also it possesses efficiency.
If you chant unknowingly, it will have effect, but if you chant knowingly, it will have more effect.
Same with Om Namo Narayana.
Every mantra. Same way. So that is the glory of holy name in that sense. Yes, Mataji. Little louder.
Is this Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva Aishwarya Bhava in Aishwarya Bhava and Om Namo Narayana is?
No, both Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya and Om Namo Narayana both are in Aishwarya, Dasya Bhav. The mood is dasya. So Prabhupada writes in the purport about the mantra and the importance of receiving mantra from a bona fide spiritual master who is coming in the disciplic succession of Lord Brahma, Narada, Vyasa, like that in the disciplic succession. By receiving mantra in the disciplic succession, one will have mercy of all the parampara. By their mercy, one can chant mantra properly and one can invoke the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the understanding. Otherwise, mantra is available to anyone and everyone, anywhere. So anyone can chant it, anyone can shout it. But when mantra is received in the parampara, along with mantra, the mercy of the parampara will come. So with that mercy, one actually gains the real benefit of chanting the mantra. So that's why one need to receive the mantra in the parampara. That thing Prabhupada actually highlights in the entire purport. So,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
You mentioned that Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya is in the Dasya Bhav. So, like the one which we chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, it is in which bhav?
It has all the bhavas. Krishna is Akila Rasamrita Murti. If Krishna is a person who is endowed with all the 12 rasas, his holy name is also endowed with all the 12 rasas. Whichever rasa we want, it will give that rasa.
Okay.
It is not about that the mantra is in which bhav. It is about the reciter of the mantra which bhav they want.
Okay.
Yeah. Here
So
Prabhuji says, ye etamam prapadyante.
this is specifically for Hare Krishna Maha Mantra only, that whichever bhav devotee is in, that mantra will reciprocate in that form. But
That's what we have studied in Nectar of Devotion. Krishna is Akila Rasamurta Murti and Abhinnatvam Nama Namine. Krishna and Krishna's holy name are not different. If Krishna is Akila Rasamurta Murti, Krishna's name is also Akila Rasamurta Murti. So since he has Akila Rasas, all the rasas, he can bestow all the rasas to us. At the same time, from Tattva point of view, Krishna and Vishnu both are not different. But in the case of Vishnu, the Aishwarya supersedes Madhurya. The principal mood of Aishwarya is Dasya. There also we have Madhurya, Vasalya, Sakya, etc. But in all those moods, Dasya predominates. So that is there.
okay, thank you.
Shalilai Suchi Birmalyair Vanyair Mula Paladibhi Seshtankuram Shukai Charet Tulasya Priyaya Prabhum. Please read, Benny Prabhu.
One should worship the Lord by offering pure water, pure flower garlands, fruits, flowers, and vegetables which are available in the forest, or by collecting newly grown grasses, small buds of flowers, or even the skins of trees, and if possible, by offering tulsi leaves which are very dear to the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Deity worship means Archanam. Archanam means offering so many articles. So what are the different articles supposed to be offered? There is a description of all those articles. One should worship the rod using the pure water. The water should be brought from the flowing river. The water should not be brought from a stagnant lake, stagnant water body. That is not generally used for deity worship. If you go to Tirumala, at least we hear that, but how far they are following, we don't know. In Tirumala hills, as you go upward, there are so many holy places inside Tirumala. Something called as Akasha Ganga. There is one place called as Akasha Ganga. There is another place called one more place. Anyone remember? Mataji, do you remember what is the other waterfall in Tirumala hills? Papanashni. Yeah. People go to Papanashni to bathe, but there is one place Akasha Ganga. Since the time of Ramanujacharya's disciple, what is his name? Who went to Tirumala and stayed there by the request of Ramanujacharya to take care of the service of Lord Anantacharya. So he used to go to Akashaganga and collect water in a brass pot and bring it all the way. And that water is used to wash the deity, bathe the deity, and also cook for the deity. And they say that even today also they get water from the Akashaganga for bathing and cooking. They don't use water here and there. So this is the general custom. So even in our temples also, since we cannot get water from the pure flowing rivers, so we invoke those rivers by chanting the mantra. Gange cha Yamune chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jalasmin Sannidhav Kuru. So invoking the presence of the 7 auspicious rivers, Ganga, Yamuna, Godavari, Saraswati, Narmada, Sindhu, Kaveri. So whatever the brass pot water contained, collecting from the tap, by invoking this mantra, the water transforms into, this is like mantra effect. By the effect of mantra, it is transformed into the water from the 7 holy rivers. And that water is used for achaman, that water is used for bathing the deities every day morning. For before dressing the deities, that deities are bathed. So with that water only. So deity worship, ordinary water is not supposed to be used. Deity worship, anything in relation to deity worship. So in that way. So pure water is supposed to be used. And garlands from the forest flowers. Okay. And then roots. Because in the forest, Dhruva Maharaj may not be able to cook everything. We can directly offer the roots and the fruits. Roots and fruits are naturally available in the forest. One need no need to worry about getting them. Sprouts. Sasta Ankura. There could be some grains which fell apart, and by the effect of the atmosphere, they may become sprouts. The sprouts also can be offered. The grains or the seeds can be very hard, but sprouts are soft. Or the previous night can be kept in the water, and by next morning they become sprout, they can be offered. The cooking is not possible in the forest. And cloth, some cloth should be offered. And dear Tulasi. The Lord is very much happy by seeing the offering along with Tulasi. These items should be available in the forest very easily. Cloth can be made from the birch bark. So one may say that where do you get the cloth? Cloth means some kind of bark, etc. Here, what is written for cloth? Amshukai. Huh? Yeah, Amshukai matlab basically the tree bark. Some kind of tree bark which can be like soft, which can be made like a cloth. So that can be offered in the deity worship. So etc. So one thing I just would like to connect it to one Gita verse. In Bhagavad Gita there is one verse. Patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati. Tadaham bhakti uparutam asnami prayatatmana. So one of our previous acharyas, Srila Vishnu Chakravarti says that this verse is meant for the Ananya Bhaktas or the renounced devotees. The devotees who are completely renounced from the worldly activities, who are living the lifestyle of Goswamis or Babajis. They don't have anything at their own disposal. But as part of Bhakti, they also need to perform Archana. So how do they perform Archana? By those articles which are naturally available from the material nature. They should use them in the deity worship. Patram. Some leaves are naturally available from the plants. There is no barrier for that. Pushpam, the flowers are also naturally available. Phalam, fruits are also naturally available. Toyam, water. These are naturally available in the forest. So like 6 Goswamis, they were living every day underneath a tree, going from one vana to other vana, etc. etc. So they can get all these things naturally in the forest. So they can accomplish the deity worship. So this verse indicates what one is supposed to do when one is renounced, how one should perform Archana, the deity worship, when one is in renunciation, complete renunciation, when one has no facilities to elaborately worship the Lord. So then they should do Patram Pushpam Balam Toyam. But on the other hand, the Grihasthas who are living in the towns, villages and cities, who have all the articles, they should perform deity worship elaborately. How? Yat karoshi yadashnashi yajjosh tadashe tettapasya kaunteya tatkurushva madarpanam. Whatever they have at their disposal should be used in deity worship. So this is how the contrast is shown for the devotees who are living in the house, who are living outside the house. But both need to perform some kind of deity worship. There is no excuse for that. It should be carried out. So these are some of the articles which are naturally available in the forest. So Dhruva Maharaj can use them like that. Narada Muni is indicating. If one can do this, one can use these small articles in the forest. They are naturally available in the city. The city may default one should use. So in one sense, for us also, what are the different articles we should use in our deity worship? We can get understanding from these verses. So next, our Narada Muni further continuing. Labdva dravyamyim archam kshiti ambu adishu varchayet abratma munishanto yatavan mitavanyabuk.
It is possible to worship a form of the Lord made of physical elements such as earth, water, pulp, wood, and metal. In the forest, one can make a form with no more than earth and water and worship him according to the above principles. A devotee who has full control over his self should be very sober and peaceful and must be satisfied simply with eating whatever fruits and vegetables are available in the forest.
Yeah, this is also another thing. Whatever is easily available in the forest, you can use them for the service of the deity. A peaceful sage, Shanta Muni, controlling their mind, controlling their speech, eating limited amounts of what is available in the forest. So here Dhruva Maharaj is going to forest. Like that, anyone who goes to forest, not much time is dedicated for eating. In order to eat something, you need to have something. In order to have something, we need to get something. In order to get something, we need to search in the forest. Where which is available, no one knows. So a lot of time goes in. So in that way, Narada Muni says that be satisfied with little amounts of food every day. So in that way. So with controlling the mind, controlling the speech, one should be sustaining on the limited amounts of eating based on what is naturally available in the forest. And then worship the Lord. How to worship the Lord? In order to worship the Lord, there should be Lord's form. We cannot offer all these articles to air or to some plant. So they can make a form of the deity either from stone or from other materials or even from earth or even from water. The deity form can be made either with water, with the mud, with other articles such as wood. Wood is naturally available in the forest. A lot of plants are there. Or stone. How do you make deity out of water? Yeah, how you can make deity out of the water?
Water mix करेगा तो खाली water से कैसे?
My understanding about the water is seen as the Charanamrita of Lord Vamana. बनाने की जरूरत नहीं, डीटी वाटर में ऑफर करो एवरीथिंग. So something like that.
Cold region में तो ice मिल जाएगा तो.
Ice, no, not like ice.
में किधर से मिलेगा?
Yeah, yes, Mataji, you are saying something?
Prabhuji, there is one more atom by which we can make deity said is pulp. So, what is that pulp?
Pulp. We say na mango pulp. So one thing is that maybe some kind of wax material that may be liquid. When it is taken out from the fruit or something like that, when it is exposed to air, it becomes hard. Something like that. With that DT form can be made. Resin. Resin or wax. When it is coming out of the tree, it is liquid in nature, but when it is exposed to air, it becomes little hard. So it can be in the form of a DT.
Okay.
So, etc.
So Dhruva Maharaj had made the deity of the Lord also possible.
Yes. We'll see whether he made it or not in the later part of the chapter. It will be explained. But Narada Muni is saying, it is actually said that Narada Muni, Dhruva Maharaj followed everything that Narada Muni said. That means he must have made deity also.
Yeah, because later part we see now that he's having such a severe, he's doing such a severe austerities and things like that. So I was wondering that then in between he was taking 3 times bath also, and then again was concentrating or how it was doing it.
We will see that time only. No, we need to go through the verse by verse, then we'll understand more details.
Okay.
Dravyamai means a form made up of stone or other solid materials. Obtaining such a form, one should worship it. One can even worship the Lord in the earth and in the water. Abratma means fixed in mind. Fixed in mind. Even in one sense, the Lord can be, if nothing is available, they should make a deity form within one's mind and worship the Lord. So it's like that. So I mean, different ways to worship. If mud is there, they can make mud deity. If nothing is there, then they should think of the Lord in the form of water and offer it in the water. So in that way, it is not that water is the first in priority. The water can be the last priority. स्वेच्छावतार चरितैर अचिन्त्या निजमायया करिष्यन्ति उत्तम श्लोक तद्यायेत् दृढयांगमम्.
My dear Dhruva, beside worshipping the deity and chanting the mantra 3 times a day, you should meditate upon the transcendental activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his different incarnations, as exhibited by his supreme will and personal potencies.
Yeah. Mantra is given, mantra chanting will be done. Deity worship is given, archana is done. Now, Shravanam or Smaranam. And of course, he is alone there. He will not do Shravanam, but at least he has to do Smaranam. What Smaranam he should do? One should also meditate on the attractiveness which the Lord will produce through his inconceivable power in various pastimes when he incarnates by his will. Lord appears in multiple avatars. In every avatar, he performs wonderful pastimes which attract the mind of a devotee. So while executing all these things like deity worship, chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, one should contemplate upon various pastimes of the Supreme Lord also. That is Smaranam. For a devotee, it is Smaranam. For a yoga practitioner, it is Dhyanam. Dhyana means meditating on the various pastimes of the Supreme Lord while meditating on the form of Paramatma. So like that. All these things should be done. At the time of Narada speaking to Dhruva Maharaj, not many avatars are appeared. Thus he speaks in the future tense. So the past time which we are discussing right now is Narada Muni speaking to Dhruva. This is happening at the very beginning of Swayambhu Manvantara. Before that, only few avatars had appeared. Not many avatars had appeared. So what pastimes of all these different avatars our Dhruva had heard? So there could be a question. So whichever avatars appeared, they also have attractive potency to attract the mind of devotees. So all those pastimes he must have heard. But since the avatars appear every day of Brahma, and Narada Muni not an ordinary person, he lives for the entire lifespan of Brahma. So he knows what all the different avatars appeared in the past life. He must have spoken about some avatars. So in that way, the Leelas are eternal. So while executing all these three things, one need to meditate upon different pastimes of the Supreme Lord, which attract one's mind. So in that way, that is the importance of Smaranam. Paricharya Bhagavato Yavatya Purva Chestita Ta Mantra Hrudaye Naiva prayunjan mantramurtaye.
Followed in the footsteps of previous devotees regarding how to worship the Supreme Lord with the prescribed paraphernalia, or one should offer worship within the heart by reciting the mantra to the personality of Godhead, who is not different from the mantra.
Yeah. Now, the next one. One can offer all the Lord's services as done by previous devotees to the Lord indicated in the mantra, just by using the Moola mantra. Following in the footsteps of the previous devotees, one should perform one's devotional service, uttering the Moola mantra. One should offer the services as performed by the previous devotees, Purva Sevita, such as fragrance, sandalwood, betel, umbrella, and chamara, just by chanting the Moola mantra, mantra hrudayena, for the deity, mentally producing those items which are not available. So the understanding is that in the city, the devotees will have all the facilities. They can offer everything in physical sense. But in the forest, if they don't have anything, they can invoke by mantras. So by the mantras only, they can invoke all these things. They can offer to the Supreme Lord. This is also there in the Nectar of Devotion. One Brahmana from Pratishthanapura, in that mantra meditation, he was preparing a sweet rice. He cooked very nicely the sweet rice. Then he was waiting for the sweet rice to become cool. So he is so hurried to offer to the Lord. He wanted to check whether the heat, whether the sweet rice became cool. He put his finger in the sweet rice. The finger got burnt. When he came out of the meditation, when his meditation broke, he really saw that the finger got burnt. And there in Vaikuntha, Lord Vishnu was laughing. And Mother Lakshmi inquires, "Why are you laughing, my dear Lord?" Then Lord Vishnu tells everything. Then Mother Lakshmi says, "See that devotee so much immersed in your service. Why you are troubling him there?" Then Lord Vishnu sends Nanda Sunanda in that Vaikuntha Vimana. They go and bring the Brahmana to Vaikuntha. So this is how one can serve the Lord in mantra meditation, within the mind also. If we don't have articles, we can invoke them through mantra chanting and then offer to the Lord. There is no barrier, no restriction in the case of devotional service. Patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati. Tadaham bhakti uparutam asnami prayatatmana. Whatever is available naturally, they should be offered directly. Whatever is not available can be offered by invoking through mantra chanting. It's like that. Further, Narada Muni further states, Evam kayena manasa vachasa cha manogatam paricharyamano bhagavan bhaktimat paricharyaya pumsham amayinam samyak bhajantam bhavavardhana shreyo dishanti abhimatam yad dharma dishu dehinam.
Anyone who thus engages in the devotional service of the Lord seriously and sincerely with his mind, words, and body, and who is fixed in the activities of prescribed devotional methods, is blessed by the Lord according to his desire. If a devotee desires material religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, or liberation from the material world, he is awarded these results.
The Supreme Lord can be worshipped for the fulfillment of Dharmartha Kama Moksha also, even in order to get prema also. Any case, one should worship the Supreme Lord. As it is said in the second canto of Bhagavatam, Akama Sarvakamuva Moksha Kamuva Udaradi Tivrena Bhakti Yogena Yajeta Purushampara. So in that way. The Lord, who is the awarder and increaser of prema, Bhagavan Bhava Vardhana. The special USP of the Supreme Lord is he can give prema and he can increase prema. This is not by anyone else. Only Bhagavan can do this. Others can fulfill the material desires, but Bhagavan only can give prema. So in that way. The Lord who increases the prema, who is served by the body, mind and words, manasa, vachasa, kayena. So evam kayena manasa vachasa cha manogatam. With devotional service, paricharya mano, basically with archana. Bhaktimat Parichaya bestows what is best among Dharmartha Kama Moksha. Shreyo Abhimatam Ed Dharmadishu. We may approach the Supreme Lord in order to accomplish Dharmartha Kama Moksha. But the Supreme Lord does not award Dharmartha Kama Moksha superficially. He awards the best of Dharma, best of Artha, best of Kama, and best of Moksha. Though he is awarding Dharmartha Kama Moksha only the fulfillment of them, but he awards the best among them. When we approach the Supreme Lord for some material fulfillment of material desires, he gives in the best way so that we can eventually become devotees. So in that way. To the sincere person worshipping him, not for the general person. If a person is sincerely worshipping Lord Vishnu even for material desires, Lord fulfills those material desires in the best way, best possible way. The desire will be fulfilled, eventually they also become devotees. So sincerity is important. Amayinam Dehinam Pumsham. Amayinam Dehinam Pumsham. So Ame Atma, Amayinam. So but without any false, if one worship the Supreme Lord, they will get best of the fulfillment, best of the desires fulfilled. In this way, mentally, by body, by mind, and by words, joined with hearing, chanting, and other services, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. All these 9 limbs of bhakti should be performed by one's mind, one's body, and one's words. If not, at least one should do all these things by one's mind, within one's mind. That is also okay. Whatever is desired among Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, the Lord gives the best of Dharma, best of Artha, best of Kama, best of Moksha. So in that way, this is the special blessing of the Supreme Lord. Special way Lord fulfill the desires of the devotees. Normally people Moksha means Sahajya Mukti. So from Lord Vishnu, Moksha is Salokya, Sarishti, Samipya, Sarupya. The best among all these 4 mokshas is Sarupya. So in that way. And within Sarupya also, Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vasalya, Madhurya, like that, in that way. Viraktas Chendriyarat. Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, I didn't get what you said, that within Sarupya also there can be different Vatsalya, Shanta, Dasya, like what it means.
See, Salokya, Sarishti, Samipya, and Sarupya are indicative of external feature. Where one is located, what kind of facilities in which one is situated, what kind of physical appearance one has, what kind of proximity one has with respect to Supreme Lord. These are all indicating the external characteristics or external features in Vaikuntha. So what about the internal feature of the devotee Vaikuntha Vasi? The devotee can be in Shantarati, Dasyarati, Vasalyarati, as a Sakyarati, Vasalyarati, and Madhurirati. So that is, these are internal features of the devotee. So we need to see both.
Sarupya means externally he may will have the form as like the rod, but internally Bhava can be different of this 5 results.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Viraktaschendriyaratau bhakti yogena bhuyasa tam nirantara bhavena bhaje tadda vimuktaye.
If one is very serious about liberation, he must stick to the process of transcendental loving service, engaging 24 hours a day in a higher stage of ecstasy, and he must certainly be aloof from all activities of sense gratification.
So in the previous verse it is said that even a person who is filled with lot of desires, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, the Lord will respond by awarding them the best of the dharma, best of the artha, best of the kama, and best of the moksha. The next other category is the devotees without desires. That is, at least devotees without material desires. That is indicated in this verse. While being completely detached from enjoyment of the senses, virakta indriya rato. Indriya rato means one who takes pleasure in the indriya trupti. And virakta means one is completely detached from the indriya trupti. Virakta indriya rato. For such kind of people, while being completely detached from enjoyment of the senses and liberation, cha indicates and liberation also. So indriya rato indicates dharmartha kama. Liberation indicates moksha. One who is not interested in dharmartha kama moksha only. For that kind of people, one must worship the Lord constantly. Tam nirantara bhavena bhajeta. Such kind of devotees who has no interest in dharmartha kama moksha, they should worship the Lord continuously. Satatam kirtayantu mam yatantasya drudavrata namastantasya mam bhaktya nikta yukta upaste. So in that way, one must worship the Lord constantly with profuse bhakti at the stage of bhava. Bhakti yogena bhuyasa. Having come to the platform of bhava, one should worship the Supreme Lord with complete dedication and continuously to attain the position of an associate of the Supreme Lord in prema. Adda vimuktaye. This is the best of the result of prema. The previous verse talked about the best results of dharmartha kama moksha. This is the best result of panchama purushartha. What is that panchama purushartha? Lord will award the position of an associate of the Lord in prema. Associate can have shanta, dasya, sakya, vasalya, madhurya. So prema is like that. Of course, prema is there in all the 4 stages, but one may be a dasya with fear. Fearful dasya also can be there. But with prema, affectionate dasya, it's like topmost stage in that sense. He who is detached from dharmartha kama moksha must constantly worship the Lord, devoid of obstacles of jnana and karma, jnana karmadi anavrutam, with bhava such as dasya in order to attain special liberation, vimuktaye, vishesha rupena mukti, being an associate of the Lord with prema. See, here dasya is indicated because here the form of worship indicated by Narada Muni and will be performed by Dhruva is all in Aishwarya Bhav. It is not in Madhurya so much. So in that way, dasya is the prominent rasa. Dasya only, but with prema, which complete affection for the Supreme Lord. Dasya bhav with prema. So Narada Muni told what to do, how to do. By doing this, what one will get. The last 2 verses talks about the results. With the desires, you get the best of dharma, best of artha, best of kama, best of moksha. Without any desires, you get dasya with prema. Becoming an associate of Supreme Lord can perform dasya ras, dasya seva with complete prema, complete affection for the Supreme Lord. Then Narada Muni stops. He spoke everything, then he stops. Iti uktastam parikramya pranamya cha nruparbaka yayau madhuvanam punyam hares charana charchitam.
When Dhruva Maharaj, the son of the king, was thus advised by the great sage Narada, he circumambulated Narada, his spiritual master, and offered him respect. Then he started for Madhura, which is always imprinted with the lotus footprints of the Lord Krishna, and which is therefore especially auspicious.
Thus being taught iti ukta, Dhruva circumambulated Narada Muni because since he already initiated, now Narada Muni is the spiritual master of Dhruva Maharaj and he offered respectable obeisances. Then he went to the pure Madhuvana, Madhuvanam Punyam, which is marked with the footprints of Lord Krishna. Hare Charana Charchitam. The abode of Madhuvana is consisting of the lotus footprints of Lord Krishna. Though from our point of view, Dhruva appeared long back, Lord Krishna appeared very recently. How can that Madhuvana has the lotus footprints of Krishna? One may question. But Lord Krishna appears every day of Brahma. In the previous day when he appeared, he performed pastimes in Madhuvan. So that Madhuvan contains the footprints of Lord Krishna. So to that place Lord Dhruva Maharaj went to in order to perform whatever austerities he wanted to perform now. Hare Krishna, any questions?
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, just my confusion is like we say that Krishna appears once in one day of Brahma, right?
Not to what to speak of Krishna, every avatar appears only one day in Brahma. Once in a day of Brahma.
So one day of Brahma will have 1,000 Chaturyugas.
Yes.
But Krishna will appear only once. So
Only
when
once.
saying that from previous Chaturyuga, that time Krishna had must be passed through Madhuvana, and that is why he has footprints. So I was a bit confused, like, but Krishna appears only once. So how we means Dhruva has appeared in a day in a Chaturyuga which is after Krishna has appeared.
No, Mataji, what after Chaturyuga? Krishna appeared in the recent Dwarapa Yuga. Dhruva Maharaj is in the Swayambhu Manvantara period in the very, very beginning of the day of Brahma. Tapse Abitak 6 Manvantaras already passed. Now 7th Manvantara, in that 27 Chaturyugas are passed, 28 Chaturyuga is going on. Lord Krishna just appeared in this Chaturyuga in the recent Dwapara Yuga 5000 years back.
So how did these footprints come in the first one?
Previous day ka footprints.
Okay, previous day.
Why say?
Everything was devastated wherein the previous day was
Still, everything will be devastated, but not Lord's footprints. Everything will be devastated, but not Lord's abode. It will disappear, again it will appear. It will not go through destruction. Everything will disappear, everything will destroy means you are putting Lord in our material, our platform. Lord is not in our platform. Lord's abode, Lord himself is on transcendental platform. Sachidananda Swarupi. It will not be devastated. It will disappear only during Pralaya. Again, when recreation happens, it will manifest its own place.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, what's the difference between disappearance and destroy? How do we know what is
disappearance and destruction? Is destruction means destruction only.
Yeah, no, but from our point of view, both are similar, isn't it? Like we cannot see it in front of eyes whether it is disappeared or destroyed.
And no, disappear means instantly it disappears. Destruction means, for example, we have the earth, so the whole Mumbai is there. If there is a huge tsunami, I mean, I'm giving an example. See, in Mumbai, many people, crores of people are living, and everyone has their respective homes. If there is a huge tsunami, after tsunami is over, we see everything is a flat land. What does it mean?
It's destroyed.
Yeah. Destroyed means it was merged with water. All the homes of Mumbai were broken apart and merged with water. And disappearance means they are disappeared. There is no destruction happened, they disappear. Again, when they are again not supposed to appear, they instantly appear. When something is destroyed, you need to reconstruct. When something is disappeared, it will appear on its own.
No, but at the time of Pralaya, obviously everything is going to be destroyed. Everything you cannot see. You cannot see the destruction part of it also, isn't it? You can't see what is destroyed also. That is also gone. Or can you see some part of the land being destroyed or something remain?
That's where we benefit of doubt. See, the Supreme Lord and Lord's abodes are Achintya. And also they are transcendental, Sachidananda Swarupa. So only matter goes through destruction. It is a quality of matter having 6 qualities, 6 transformations. Birth, growth, giving byproducts, staying for and destroyed. But the spirit does not go through these transformations.
Yeah.
So Lord's abode is not different from the Lord himself. So how can Lord's abode go through destruction?
Yeah, it cannot go through. What I'm saying is, when you say it is destroyed, actually even that is similar to being disappearance only, na? It is gone and burnt.
Disappearance is like mantra, chanting some mantra and making it disappear, Mataji. Like if you go to, what is this place? What do you call this? Magic show. In the magic show, something appears and something disappears. That is as simple as that. It is not destroyed.
Okay,
So,
Prabhuji.
I mean, at least that is my understanding. I don't know you are getting it or not. But what happens in the magic show is like the disappearance. It appears and disappears. What happens in front of our eyes is like destruction.
No, anyway, we are also not going to be there. We are all also gone in the at the time of Pralaya. So ultimately everything disappears into the body of Mahavishnu only, isn't it?
No, we means you are talking about Atmas. I am talking about the body.
Yeah, even that
I'm
Prakriti
talking about the
gets
matter.
ultimately merged into the body of Mahavishnu, isn't it?
But before that, you are getting the destruction. I gave the example of Mumbai. When there is tsunami, each and every house of the Mumbai gets broken apart.
No, I understood that, Prabhuji. I know what destruction means. What I'm saying is, when you see at the end of Pralaya, the Lord's abode alone remains. Ultimately, even this material Prakriti, whatever it is, merged in the Lord, it is also disappearing. Next time it gets manifested again, isn't it?
Okay, okay. One directly disappears. One first gets destroyed, then disappears.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Same form will not be there.
Yes. It changes its form and then eventually becomes disappearing. The tsunami, the whole others will be broken apart and they become small portions, and eventually they all will be disappear in that way. The disappearance means it will never go through any destruction. There is no harm to it. It just disappears and again as it is appears. But for something is destroyed, in order to make it again, you need to construct. That is the creation of Brahma. So it's like that. So any case, we will have 5 minutes break and then we continue. Hare Krishna. Okay. Hare Krishna, devotees are there? So,
Yes, Prabhu.
yeah, we'll go ahead with verse number 63. Tapovanam gate tasmin pravishto antapuramuni haritanako rajna sukasena uvachatam.
After Dhruva entered Madhuvana forest to execute devotional service, the great sage Narada thought it wise to go to the king to see how he was faring within the palace. When Narad Muni approached, the king received him properly, offering him due obeisances. After being seated comfortably, Narada began to speak.
Yeah. When Dhruva had gone to Tapovana or Madhuvana to perform tapasya along with Bhakti, Narada entered the inner chambers of the palace of Uttanapada, because both Uttanapada and Priyavrata were the disciples of Narada Muni. They both went to the Gurukula of Narada Muni, they studied under him only. So both of them is disciples only. So being suitably worshipped by the king, seated comfortably, Narada Muni then spoke to the king. He begins to inquire from the king. Rajan kim dhyayase dirgam mukena parishushata kim va narishyate kamo dharmo va artena samyuta.
The great sage Narada inquired, "My dear king, your face appears to be withering up, and you look like you have been thinking of something for a very long time. Why is that? Have you been hampered in following your path of religious rites, economic development, and sense gratification?"
Yeah. Narada Muni, in a sense, sarcastically is asking, O king, since your faith is withered, have you been contemplating for a long time? You seems that you are contemplating for a long time. Is it because you have not accomplished the performance of Dharmartha Kama properly? Is your lamentation is due to not able to fulfill your desires in regards to Dharmartha Kama? Is it further? That's why your faith has become withered and you are contemplating a lot for a long time? Sarcastically asking the king. Then the king replies, Suto me balaka brahman strainena karunatmana nirvasita panchavarsha sahamatra mahan kavi.
The king replied, O best of the Brahmanas, I am very much addicted to my wife and am so fallen that I have abandoned all merciful behavior, even to my son, who is only 5 years old. I have banished him and his mother, even though he is a great soul and a great devotee.
King replied, O Brahmana, being merciless and controlled by my wife, I have banished my intelligent young son, Balaka Mahan Kavi. He understood when we know that my intelligent young son, only 5 years old, Pancha Varsha, along with his mother, have not only banished the small child, along with I also banished his mother. So banishing means not taking care of them according to the need of the hour. He is not taking care of the son, not taking care of the mother, his wife, the mother of the son. So king is saying that I have, is as good as I have banished them, since I am not taking care of them. Because his mother was not respected, she is also said to be banished as well. So they are not taken care. So Prabhupada says that according to Vedic literatures, one should never banish one's wife and children, because at the time of marriage, one takes the vow that I will take care of you for the rest of my life. So then Prabhupada also writes that in a case where the wife and children are disobedient and do not follow the principles of home life, they are sometimes given up. But in the case of Dhruva Maharaj, this was not applicable because Dhruva was very much mannerly and obedient. Moreover, he was a great devotee. Such a person is never to be neglected, and the king was obliged to banish him. Now he was very sorry. So it's like that. If the family members are not at all willing to cooperate in family affairs, they can be banished. That is a special circumstance. But in general, they are not supposed to be neglected. So like that is a Vedic understanding.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Mother.
Prabhuji, Prabhupada writes in the purport ki if you are addicted to your wife, then you lose all mercy. How is that?
Compassion. Mercy means compassion. That's what here, according to the scene here, since king developed favoritism towards Suruchi. So though Suniti is wife, Dhruva is son, is not showing any compassion to them. So
but why does the person lose compassion towards the son because of the wife?
It is either way. One is out of fear of the wife or out of over attachment to that wife.
Okay, Prabhuji.
See, either way, out of fear means if he shows affection to everyone, that wife may chastise him. How can you show that? When I am there, you should only show affection to me, only something like that, not others. That is fear. And out of intense attachment, since he had so much liking for this wife and is neglecting the other wife, and everyone connected to other wife. So in that way, he has become indifferent to them. He is not envying them, but he has become indifferent to them. They are there, but he is not recognizing them that they are existing. So like that.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Here it is mentioned that Uttanapad says that even though he is a great soul and a great devotee, means that is to come in the future. So how
No,
Uttanapad
that is Prabhupada is writing. Uttanapad is not saying that. He is saying that Me Balaka Mahan Kavi. He is an intelligent person. He says that he is an intelligent son. Why intelligent? Because whatever his mother said, he followed it. Mother told that you should go to forest and worship Vishnu. He immediately went. That means he understood what is to be done, what is not to be done. If he is not intelligent enough, he will say, okay, what to take so serious, no need to be serious. Or he might revolt back saying bad words to his stepmother, something like that. He may take revenge upon the Uttama, who is getting the affection of the father. Unintelligent will do all these other activities. Since he is intelligent, he did not take all the bad activities. He simply took the shelter of Vishnu. That shows his intelligence. So in that way.
Okay.
Till now, that much only known to Uttanapada. He is going to become devotee or what happens to him and all, he does not know. But what he knows is, Suniti said, you need to take shelter of Vishnu. And he did it. He went to forest to take the shelter of Vishnu. That shows the intelligence of that boy.
Okay.
He is not like any ordinary child. If you scold him and then later on give one laddu, you will forget everything. So it is not like that.
This great devotee has been written by Prabhupada.
That is Prabhupada. Prabhupada's way of translating things.
Okay. Thank you.
Api anatam vane brahman ma samadanti arbakam vrika shrantam shayanam kshuditam parimlana mukambujam.
My dear Brahmana, the face of my son was just like a lotus flower. I was thinking of his precarious condition. He is unprotected and he might be very hungry. He might have lain down somewhere in the forest and the wolves might have attacked him to eat his body.
Yeah. Now he's talking about the small boy. When the boy was in front of him, he was not doing anything. But now he's talking about him. He says that, oh Brahmana, have the wolves eaten the unprotected boy who must be tired, who must be hungry, who must be with wilted lotus face lying down in the forest? He's saying that this boy is 5 years old, ordinary tender boy. He's very tender, very soft. He's not exposed to hardships. He must have been tired by walking in the forest. He must have been very much hungry. Because children, small children, they should be given food time to time. They feel very angry easily. And he's having a very very tender lotus-like face, very soft personality. How he is able to tolerate the intense heat, intense cold in the forest? all that environment. So lying down in the, and he always used to sleep on the soft bed. So where he's sleeping in the forest. So like that, he's thinking about his son now, affectionately. Then he further says, Aho me bata dauryatmam Sri Jitasyopadharaya Yo Ankam Premano Rukshantam Nabhyanandam Asattama.
Just see how I was conquered by my wife. Just imagine my cruelty. Out of love and affection, the boy was trying to get up on my lap. But I did not receive him, nor did I even pat him for a moment. Just imagine how hard-hearted I am.
I am controlled by a woman, Stri Jitasya. See my cruelty because of that. I am most vile. I am the most asattama. Sattama means a sadhu. Asattama means not at all. I don't have any quality of sadhu. I did not welcome my son with love when he tried to climb on my lap. Out of fear of Suruchi, though Dhruva was trying to sit on my lap, I ignored him. I did not even say one word also. So I am the most vile person. I am the most asattama because I was completely controlled by woman. Like that, he criticizes himself. Go since Uttanapada is also a disciple of Narada Muni. Now he is going to pacify. Narada Muni is pacifying Uttanapada. Because since the king has learned his mistake, Narada Muni is pacifying him. Narada Uvacha Mama Sucha Swatanayam Devaguptam Vishampate Tat Prabhavam Avijnaya Pravrunte Yad Yasho Jagat.
The great sage Narada replied, My dear king, please do not be aggrieved about your son. He is well protected by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although you have no actual information of his influence, his reputation is already spread all over the world.
Yeah, Narada said that, O king, your son is completely protected by the Supreme Lord. Don't worry that my son is not protected. How he is able to go through all the hardships? How he is able to tolerate the wolves might have eaten him like that? Don't think like that. Your son is completely protected by the Supreme Lord. Swatanayam Devaguptam is under the protection of Supreme Lord. He is still living. Don't worry that he is lying dead. Don't think like that. He must have been dead. Not like that. He is still living. Though his greatness is not yet known. Tat prabhavam avijnaya. You don't know his greatness. His greatness will be revealed very soon. In no time, his greatness will be understood to the entire kingdom. His fame will soon spread throughout the universe. Therefore, do not lament. His fame is so big that this past time happened during Swayambhu Manvantara at the beginning of the day of Brahma. Even today also we are reading about it. So his fame is not ordinary fame. It's very. Do not lament at all. He is living. His greatness is unknown. His fame will spread. The verb is using the present tense since the fame will happen in the near future. So in that way, his fame will spread in the future. So in that way. Therefore, do not lament, my dear king. So in one sense, Narada Muni is seeing good in the bad. Because of your negligence only Dhruva Maharaj went to forest. Because he went to the forest only, his fame will spread all over the universe. So don't lament. If you have showed love to Dhruva, you would not have got this opportunity to go to forest only. You would not have become famous. So not famous from the material point of view, but receiving the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Sudushkaram karma kritva lokapaler api prabhu ashyati achiro rajan yesho vipulayam stava.
My dear king, your son is very competent. He will perform activities which would be impossible even for great kings and sages. Very soon he will complete his task and come back home. You should know that he will also spread your reputation all over the world.
There is one point which comes in the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Daivasura Sampatti Vibhaga Yoga. In the 16th chapter, first 2-3 verses talks about the qualities of the four varnas. What kind four varnas or four ashtamas? What kind of quality they should possess? Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and Sannyasi, Vanaprastha, Brahmachari, and Grihastha. So one of the important quality of sannyasi is abhayam. Abhayam sattva sanshuddhir. He should be fearless. They should have the faith that the Supreme Lord will protect me. Because whether one is Vanaprastha or sannyasi, one is supposed to travel alone. Traditionally, they should have that fearlessness with complete dependency on the Supreme Lord. So from that point of view, Narada is saying that don't worry, your son is alive. He is well protected by the Supreme Lord. So in that way. So here in this verse he says that, O king, after performing the task which is difficult even for the devatas, Sudushkaram karma lokapalair api prabhu. The task which your son will perform, it is very difficult even for the greater devatas who are the lokapalas, who are taking care of the entire universe. Dhruva will soon return. Achirato, not after a long time, very soon he will return, spreading your fame everywhere. Not only his fame will spread, your fame also will spread. Everyone will say that Dhruva Maharaj, the son of Uttanapada, has pleased the Supreme Lord in 6 months. So along with his fame, your fame also will spread. Don't worry. So like that, he is trying to console his disciple, Uttanapada. Maitreya Uvacha Iti Devarshina Proktam Vishrutya Jagati Pati Raja Lakshmim Anadritya Putram Evan Vachintayat.
The great Maitreya continued. The king Uttanapada, after being advised by Narada Muni, practically gave up all duties in relation with his kingdom, which was very vast and wide, opulent like the goddess of fortune, and he simply began to think of his son Dhruva.
So in the previous purport, Prabhupada says that just like Dhruva is determined, Dhruva is performing the task which is difficult for the devatas, every devotee also should be determined like Dhruva should perform the tasks which are difficult for other people in general. So like that, Prabhupada inspires all the devotees. So here now Maitreya is saying that after hearing what Narada had said, the king Uttanapada gave up interest in his wealthy kingdom and thought only of his son. So now having understood the greatness of his son, previously, at least apparently, Uttanapada was attached to the kingdom, attached to the wife, attached to the son of that wife. Seems to be like that. But now having understood that the small boy at the age of 5 only is so determined, not even interested in the kingly opulences, kingly enjoyment, etc., etc. He went to the forest to undertake the austerities to please Lord Vishnu. Then how much more I should be having? So then though he is staying in the kingdom, but he does not have any attachment for the king, kingly opulences, kingly facilities, and the wife Suruchi and other. That doesn't mean that he is neglecting them. He is doing all the duties, but without any attachment. So in a way, he is inspired by his own son. Feeling cold? You can increase the temperature. So then the story ends in what is happening in the kingdom of Uttanapada. Now the scene goes to forest. What Dhruva is doing now in the forest. Having gone to Madhavana, what he is doing there. Now he has to do everything that has been instructed by Narada Muni. So how is he following? He is explained in the later part of the chapter. Tatra Bhishikta Paryatas Tam Uposha Vibhavarim Samahita Paryacharat Rishi Adeshena Purusham.
Elsewhere, Dhruva Maharaj, having arrived at Madhuvan, took his bath in the river Yamuna and observed fasting in the night, great care and attention. After that, as advised by the great sage Narada, engaged himself in worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
So Dhruva went to Madhuvan. He took bath, and by the time he went there, it was like seems to be late afternoon. He took bath. He fasted that night. Did not take anything. He fasted that night, and then thus by taking bath, by not eating anything, by fasting whole night, Dhruva got purified. Then the next day morning got up, took bath, and then worshipped the Lord. He must have made a deity with a mud or stone or whatever is available there, and with art whatever ingredients that are available in the forest. He must have collected them, and he worshipped the deity with full attention. Paryacharad Purusham Samahita. With full attention, with mind, body, and words, he worshipped the deity as instructed by Narada Muni. He followed everything as it is instructed by Narada Muni. What did Dhruva do at Madhuvan? This verse answers. Abhishekta means having bathed. Paryata means being purified. So it's like that. A spiritual master is expert in giving spiritual instructions to each of his disciples. And if the disciples execute the order of the spiritual master, that is the way of his perfection. Rishi Adeshena. By following the instructions of the spiritual master only, a disciple can attain perfection. Tusha. So then, how did Dhruva executed the other instructions of Narada Muni? The first verse talks about the deity worship. This he must have followed every day. In the morning hours, he must be worshipping the deity every day morning hours, taking bath, collecting the ingredients and worshipping the deity, offering it to the deity. In addition to that, what else he is doing throughout the day? Triratrante Kapitta Badarashana Atmavritti Anusarena Masam Ninne Archayan Harim.
For the first month, Dhruva Maharaj ate only fruits and berries on the every third day, only to keep the body and soul together. And in this way, he progressed in his worship of the Supreme Personality of God.
Yeah. So I put the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. The 1 indicates first month. During the first month, Dhruva was eating kapita or badari fruits. The badari fruits, which are berries, badari means berries, which are naturally available in the forest. Kapita fruits also naturally available in the forest. But only every third night, not daily 3 times, once in 3 days. 3 ratrante. At the end of the 3 days, as a night meal is taking. To maintain the body, Atma Vritti Anusarena. Hare, next week, Nirjala Ekadashi. Next Saturday. He passed 1 month in worshipping the Lord. Manasa Ninye Archayan Harim. The deity worship, as mentioned in the previous verse, is doing every day morning. But for himself, he is eating only kapita fruits, berries once in every 3 days. He is not eating every day. Once in 3 days. For him, like that. So in the purport, Prabhupada says that fasting means that we fast and also we make Lord fast. Not like that. The Lord should be offered properly. 6 bhogas should be offered to the Lord. But we need to fast. We cannot make the Lord fasting. So the deity should be offered every day. At the time, according to the time of the offering. But the devotees are supposed to fast. So, by the way, next Saturday is Nirjala Ekadashi. So, should we have the class?
This Saturday or Sunday, Prabhu?
Nirjala Ekadashi Saturday, Dwadashi is on Sunday.
Sunday is Ekadashi, no, Prabhuji?
I don't know, but in our Vaishnava calendar it is on Saturday only. Sunday not Ekadashi. Sunday is actually Travadashi. Saturday only 11th only Pandava Nirjala Ekadashi. Sunday it is Travadashi. Huh? All of you are fasting? Nirjala Ekadashi fasting?
Yeah, but we'll have the class, Prabhu.
Because why I am asking, because the week after that, the Sunday I'm going home, and 1 week I am out. The following Saturday we may or we may not have class. I'll be at home. So if it is convenient for all of you, we will have class next week. We will not have exam, though we are completing this chapter today. Exam will not be there, but we just have class next week.
Okay.
Huh? Okay. So because the week after that, I'm not sure whether we are going to have class or not. I'll be at home only that time.
Okay. Okay, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, regarding this verse, like as it is, Prabhupada is mentioning that one should offer very nice food stuff to the deity, but one should not eat. So at the temple level, it is okay, but at the grihastha level, how practically this is possible, Prabhuji? Like टेम्पल में तो डेटीज के लिए किया हुआ बढ़ जाता है प्रसाद because so many people are coming, and but at the home level how it can be practically applied.
At home level, out of 7 days, 6 days can be normal bhoga can be offered to the deities, as it will be accepted by all the family members. But once in a day they can invite guests, and that day they can make opulent prasadam for the deities and also for the guests, something like that. So
Okay.
opulent means once in a while the grosas can prepare little opulent bhoga for the deities, but regularly they should offer whatever they are accepting. There is no other alternative. The temple means they have other alternatives. They can give it to the guests, or they can sell it in the gift shop or here and there. All these things can be done by offering all the opulent sweets, all these things. But in the case of home, maybe once in a week you can prepare opulent prasad and invite some guests and feed them.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. द्वितीयं च तथा मासं षष्ठे षष्ठे अर्भको दिने तृणपर्णादिभिः शीर्णै कृतान्नो अभ्यचरन् विभुम्.
In the second month, Maharaj, only 6.
It dry grass and leaves. Thus he continued his worship.
So in the second month, Dvitiyam cha tata masam. Similarly, in the second month, the boy ate only dry grass. Trinadapi sunichena tarorivasa ishnuna. He only ate some dry grass and some dry leaves. Parna. We have Parnashala in Nasik. Parnashala is there, na? Kuti basically, the top is made up of the leaves, the dry leaves of the tree. So in that way. So he was eating only dry grass and dry leaves. For the first month, he was eating the berry fruits and kapita fruits. The second month, he was only eating some dry grass and dry leaves. It is to reduce the food quantity. And also number of days increased. Previously it was once in 3 days. Now it is once in 6 days. While worshipping the Lord, the deity worship is going on. And mantra chanting is going on. Meditation is going on. But food reduced. गुरु ने बोला कम खाने का which is naturally available. आपने सुना नहीं बीच में. तृतीयं चानयन्मासं नवमे हनि अभक्षा उत्तम श्लोकम उपादाव समाधिना.
In the third month, he drank water only every 9 days. Thus, he remained completely in trance and worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is adored by selected verses.
Yeah. During the third month, he drank only water every 9 days, worshipping the Lord in the Samadhi. Raghunath Das Goswami, every day used to take only palmful of chas. If not every day, whenever the meal time is there, morning, afternoon, evening, you would take only chas full of water, not much, so much. So that's how they live. They maintain life like that only.
Spiritually nourished.
Spiritually nourished. So now in the third month, he's drinking little water once in every 9 days. So it is further reduced. Now fourth month. Chaturtham api vaimasam Dvadashe Dvadashe Hani Vayubhaksho Jitashvaso Dhyayan Devam Adarayat.
In the fourth month, Dhruva Maharaj became a complete master of the breathing exercise, and thus he inhaled air only every 12th day. In this way, he became completely fixed in his position and worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Previously was breathing. First month fruits, second month dry leaves, third month water, and fourth month no water only. And he is breathing not every minute 50 times. He is breathing once in every 12 days and worshipped by meditating on the Lord. So now the deity worship might not be going on. He is simply doing meditation, dhyana. He entered into complete dhyana. Panchama. Panchame masi anuprapte jitashvaso nrupatmaja dhyayan brahma padaikena tasto stanur ivachala.
By the fifth month, Maharaj Dhruva, the son of king, had controlled his breathing so perfectly that he was able to stand on only one leg, just as a column stands, without motion, and concentrate his mind fully on the Parabrahman.
In the fifth month, controlling his breath, jitashvaso, the prince meditating on the Lord. See, kindly understand that in the fourth month, he was breathing once in every 12 days. In the fifth month, he controlled that also. That means he might be breathing only once in a month. शुरू में एक बार breathe किया बस. He controlled the breath for the entire month. He is not breathing again. Because it has to become double. Previously 3, 6, 9, 12 हो गए. अब 12 से सीधा 30 हो रहा है. So he was meditating on the Lord. Dhyayan Brahma. He is completely in dhyana. Dhyana and samadhi. Stood motionless. He was not even moving like a pillar. Tastau stanur iva achala. On one foot. Pada ekena. Breathing only once. He stood like a pillar on one feet without moving, without doing anything else, not even breathing. He only breathed once at the beginning of the month and he controlled it in the fifth month. Now, the interesting thing happened in the sixth month. Sarvato mama mana akrishya hridi bhutendriyashayam dhyayan bhagavato rupam nadrakshit kinchana param.
He completely controlled his senses and their object, and in this way he fixed his mind without diversion to anything else upon the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yeah. Controlling the mind completely. In the previous chapter verse, it said that controlling the breath completely. The breath was completely controlled. Senses are completely controlled. Body is completely controlled. So now the subtle body comes to the mind. Now the mind is under complete control. Meditating on the form of the Lord. Dhyayan Bhagavato Rupam. That form which Narada Muni spoke about, which is not perceivable by material senses. Huridi Bhuta Indriya Nashim. The material senses cannot perceive this. What was that verse? Nectar of devotion verse. The blunt senses cannot perceive the form of the Lord. Sevonmukoi jivado swayameva spurati yada. What was the beginning of that verse? So through the direct senses, one cannot experience the form of the Lord. But by engaging senses in service of the Lord, the Lord's form will be revealed within the core of the heart eventually. Something like that. With the complete control of the mind, meditating on the form of the Lord, which is not perceivable by the material senses, he did not see anything else and no breath. At least in the fifth month, once he breathed. 6 months, no breathe. He did not even breathe. Completely stopped breathing only. Bhutendri Ashayam, referring to the form of the Lord, can mean that which does not reside with the senses of the living beings or it can mean that to which the living being senses are completely sleeping, that which is beyond the sense perception. Atha Sri Krishna Namadi Nabavet Grahyam Indriya. Lord Krishna's Nama Rupa Gunlila cannot be pursued by the material senses. But when the senses are engaged in the service of the Supreme Lord, Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam, the Lord will be revealed from within. Swayameva Spuratiyada. So, in that way. So, during the 6th month, even the subtle body is completely controlled. And within the mind is completely meditating on the form of the Supreme Lord. He did not see anything else means he is only seeing the Paramatma. In the 6th month, with the complete control of the mind, senses, everything, he is completely focused on the form of Paramatma. Yeah, yes, Mataji.
And how can somebody live without taking a break? Like, is this because of the Lord has given him that capacity, or how we should understand?
No, Ashtanga yogis will do like that only. Ashtanga yoga means breath control. Apane juvati panam pane juvati apane. If you remember 6th chapter Bhagavad Gita. So
there has to be some break.
No, what we are doing, we are taking air in, we are sending the air out. So what the yogis will do, once they take air in, the air which is supposed to be sent out, before it comes out again they take inside. Okay, and the air which ends inside, that is again supposed to come out. Before it comes out again they take inside. The same air only circulating in and out within the body.
But
Inside the
carbon
lungs and to the nostril, in that way they don't have to breathe once again.
Yeah, but we say like the air which is to be exhaled, it contains all carbon dioxide and not the
Our air.
oxygen.
That is our air. We are living in the city with all contamination. Here he is living in the forest. Where is the contamination? Where is the carbon dioxide? There will be no carbon dioxide only.
But exhaled air, once the air is inhaled, the oxygen gets used up in the body. And that is why it has to be thrown out, and the thrown out wherever one may be in the forest.
See, Mataji, fine. See, try to understand. We are living in the Mumbai. The normal air itself contains carbon monoxide more than 70%. Oxygen content is very less. The air which we are taking in itself is maximum carbon monoxide only. Then obviously we release carbon dioxide only. But Dhruva Maharaj in the forest in Satyayuga during Swayambhu Manvantara, where is the carbon dioxide? In the middle of the forest.
Okay, Prabhuji. Yeah,
Our city lifestyle should not apply on them. That's why many times now we have big problem understanding what is there in the Vedic literature. How can they do this like that? It can be done. Once you take air inside, that air can circulate up and down for a long time. And he is also not doing any physical activity and no mental activity also. The food what we take, maximum it will go waste in mental activity only. And then thoda sa physical activity mein jata hai. But in the case of yogis, there is no physical activity and there is no mental activity only. There will be no exertion. They can live for thousands of years like that in Ashtanga Yoga state. We are susceptible to all the diseases, all so much tiredness, all these things because our mind is more active than the body. And that activity is also for worries, for those worries which are of no use from ultimate point of view. Though the worries may be very practical, very important for that day, but from the scriptures point of view, they are of not much use. So for which we need to eat a lot, we need to drink water a lot, we need to sleep a lot. So many problems. We need to breathe a lot. Mental activity only, lot of anxiety. We can sustain by eating little quantity of food if there is no mental anxiety. In order to digest that mental activity, we eat a lot.
Yeah. Okay,
Yes,
thank you, Prabhuji.
it is like
We
that.
are more anxious, we crave more food.
When you are mentally absorbed more, you people also eat more. When you sit on the dining table, While speaking to people, you may eat moderate quantity. But when you sit in front of a TV, will there be any limit to eating? Because one is not absorbed in eating. One is absorbed in observing something. The eating happens, goes on, belly is increasing, but still goes on. That's why it is said that Srila Prabhupada says always, or many other our senior devotees have said that while eating, we should be absorbed in eating. We should not even talk. Because when we do some other activity while eating, our absorption will be another activity. The eating will go based. Either we eat too much or we eat too little. If we focus on the eating while eating, we eat moderate quantity and we remain healthy. This is a big problem in the modern context. No absorption in what we are doing always.
In the psychiatry also, it is one of the symptom of depression. Overeating is the symptom of depression.
No,
Clinical
they
research.
overeat to come out of the depression. When people are in depression, they overeat or over drink. Or whatever they do, they overdo. It's like that. Okay. Oh, we have already reached time. We have a couple of verses. There's 3 verses. We'll do this so that the chapter will be completed. So that the next thing will be started in the next chapter. Adaram mahadadinam pradana purusheshwaram brahmadaraya trayo lokas chakampire.
When Dhruva Maharaj thus captured the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the refuge of the total material creation and who is the master of all living entities, the 3 worlds began to tremble.
Yeah. By the 6th month, Dhruva Maharaj stopped breathing. He was standing on one leg. Body is not moving. Senses are not active. Mind is also not active. He is only witnessing the Paramatma in the core of the heart. When Dhruva meditated on the Lord, the shelter of all the elements, the Lord of matter and all the jivas, the 3 worlds began to tremble. He became stable. The entire universe is trembling. Opposite is happening on the other side. Huh? That is the effect of tapasya. आप कभी movie देखा नहीं? बचपन में.
That is not real. But
No.
what happens while we talking?
What is mentioned in the scriptures only comes out in the movie or drama.
Why do the words stand on?
Obviously, na. That is the effect of tapasya. Tapasya is not an ordinary thing. One person tapasya, the whole world can tremble. For example, one scientist work hard. He creates Hiroshima and what is that atom bomb? One atom bomb can destroy the whole world. But to develop that atom bomb, this person performed so much tapasya. But the tapasya is in ignorance. Here, because the Hiranyakashipu also when he was performing, the heat is coming out of his body, the entire world is burning. That is the effect of tapasya. It will be there. Now, trembling is okay. This is manageable. The next verse talks about some important thing. Yadaikapadena sa prithvi sa parthivarbakas tatastu tadangushta nipiditamahi nanama tatrardam ibendra dishtita tariva savve tarata pade.
As Dhruva Maharaj, the king's son, kept himself steadily standing on the one leg, the pressure of his big toe pushes down half the earth, just as the elephant being carried on a boat rocks the boat left and right with his every step.
When the prince stood on one leg, the earth, that means the entire Bhumandala, pressed by his big toe, sank lower by a half pradesha, just as a boat with an elephant rocks from side to side with each of its step. When a boat is moving in the ocean, there is elephant. If elephant go this side, the boat will move this side. Elephant go this side, the boat will go this side. Just by one step, putting one step on that one side, the boat moves here and there. But since Dhruva Maharaj standing on one leg performing tapasya, what is the specialty of his tapasya? He stopped eating. He stopped breathing. You see the effect opposite side. He stopped eating. You see that he is eating the food of everyone. Everyone's food is in his belly. He stopped breathing. He is taking the air of everyone that is there and is standing motionless. He himself is accepting the motion of everyone else in the entire universe. Then how much vibration he can create? See the effect in the opposite order. So like that. He is a small boy. By not doing all these things, he might be becoming light. Like that we can think of. But take the opposite effect. He is becoming heavy, more heavy. So that heaviness is unable to tolerate by the Mother Earth. It went down. Bhumandala went down.
Prabhuji, when you say earth, which is Bhumandala it is, okay.
Bhumandala, it is not our normal earth. Entire Bhumandala. The earth pressed by his big toe sank down by half Pradesha. Half Pradesha means half of 5 inches. Pradesha is the size of the heart. For any person, the size of our heart will be like our fist. Our fist is like 5 inches. So half of the Pradesha it went down. That means 2.5 inches it went down according to Dhruva size. Just as a boat with an elephant sinks on the left and then to the right with its steps. So that means Dhruva is becoming the heavier than the heaviest in the entire world. That's why the Bhumandala went down by, just like when a lorry you take, a transport lorry, you put more load, the tire become compressed. The entire chassis comes down. Then an empty lorry. So in that way. So this is the second effect. First effect, the world trembling. Second effect, the Bhumandala went down. Third effect. Tasmin abhidyayati vishwamatmano dwaram nirudya sumananyaya diya loka niruchvasa nipidita brusham salokapala sharanam yayurharim.
When Dhruva Maharaj became practically one in heaviness with Lord Vishnu, the total consciousness due to his fully concentrating and his closing all the holes of his body, the total universal breathing became choked up, and all the great demigods in all the planetary systems felt suffocated and thus took shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
When Dhruva blocking all the doors of his body and stopping his life hairs, 2 months he stopped. 5th month beginning he breathed. Whole 5th month he did not breathe. 6th month he did not breathe again. 2 months se band ho gaya. Meditated on the Lord with his intelligence merged in the total intelligence. The people of the entire universe along with the Devatas becoming completely breathless went to the Supreme Lord. So when he stopped breathing, it is air in general, everywhere it is there. It is going into a person's body and coming out. So it is again uniting with the overall air. When Dhruva took the air inside and he stopped it inside only. So since Dhruva Maharaj stopped the air within himself, which is against to the natural course of the universe, the air of the entire universe is stopped within the abdomen of Dhruva Maharaj. It is not coming out only. And he stopped it, he made it stand still. So the entire universe is started becoming breathless. They don't have any moving air to breathe. Slowly the entire universe is getting suffocated. Because the entire air of the atmosphere is condensed into one point and entered into the abdomen of Dhruva. So in that way. When Dhruva blocking all the doors and airs of the body meditated on the Lord, the planets became afflicted by breathlessness. First it trembled, Bhumandala went down because it became heavy. So now the air stopped. When the individual body of Dhruva blocked his life hairs, by that force, the life hairs of the whole universe became blocked. Since he stopped the air, the entire air stopped, which is spreading all over the universe. This of the individual and the whole became one. Since Dhruva is completely concentrating on the form of Paramatma, he has become one with the Paramatma in that sense. The entire atmospheric air became the air within his body. So in that way. Because by performing this yoga, he became so powerful that by his own blocking of the air, the entire air blocked. So that is the immediate result of performing that yoga. Now all the devatas go and petition to Lord Vishnu. My dear Lord Vishnu, please do something. We are not able to breathe. So naivam vidamo bhagavan pranarodam characharasya kila sattvadamna videhi tanno vrijinadi moksham prapta vayam tvam sharanam sharanyam.
The demigod said, Dear Lord, you are the refuge of all moving and non-moving living entities. We feel all living entities to be suffocating, their breathing process choked up. We have never experienced such thing. Since you are ultimate shelter of all surrendered souls, we have therefore approached you. Kindly save us from these dangers.
So they are saying that we have never experienced this kind of thing. We have never known the blocking of the breath for all bodies of all beings, moving and non-moving. We have approached you, worthy of taking shelter. Please deliver us from this danger. We have not seen this kind of situation before. Something is going to happen. Then Lord Vishnu says, don't worry, don't worry. Dhruva is performing austerities because of which is coming, but he is not performing austerities to harm you. It is only a side effect of yoga. Because he is performing severe yoga, it is a side effect of that. It is not happening intended way. I will go and rectify the matter like that. Lord Vishnu consoles the devatas. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Ma Vaishtabalam Tapaso Duratyayan Nivartataise Pratiyata Swadama Yato Hiva Prana Niroda Asid Autana Pader Mai Sangatatma. The Lord said, do not fear, return to your homes. I will stop the boy from doing impossible austerities. He has concentrated his mind fully on me. Because of him, your breath has been stopped. Because of the boy doing austerities, when he stops his breath during the 6th month, your breath also stops. You should not fear, thinking that you will die. Don't think that you will die. He has simply concentrated his mind on me. This will not destroy anything. Dhruva is not performing austerities to cause harm to you. He is simply meditating on me. But what is happening is an effect of performance of yoga. So I will rectify the matter. Please go home. Don't worry that you will die. Something like that. That's how Lord pacified. The next chapter, Lord Vishnu will go and give blessings to Dhruva Maharaj. So that we will see next week. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for joining. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.